Jai Gurudev, welcome Michael. Thank you for joining us today. You have had an interesting journey with the art of living. Can you share a memorable story from your early days? Absolutely. One of my most memorable experiences was during my first art of living course, which coincided with Guru Purnima. The course ran from Thursday to Sunday, and on that Thursday, I had a blind date set up for me. A blind date that must have been intriguing. What happened? Yes, it was quite the experience. I met this incredible woman. She was charming, pretty, and had a wonderful personality. However, during the entire dinner, all I could think about was the course I had just attended. I was so absorbed in the teachings, like accepting people as they are and not being the football of others' opinions. She seemed very attracted to me, but at the end of the date, I simply said, "Nice meeting you, bye now," and left. That sounds intense. How did you feel afterward? I went home and stared at the ceiling for hours and hours and hours together, pretending and pondering why I felt so drawn to Gurudev, our teacher. It was confusing because it felt like I was in love with him. I later understood that it was a profound spiritual connection, but at that time I didn't have a reference point for it. Did Gurudev help you understand this connection? Yes, a couple of weeks later, after a silence course, Gurudev explained the Guru disciple relationship to me. This was crucial as I had always struggled with relationships and longed for a significant other. Eventually, I did get married at the ashram, and Gurudev celebrated my wedding, throwing a beautiful party for me. That sounds like a special moment. How did Gurudev make you feel about your path? The night before my wedding, I had a private conversation with him. He told me that I had been afraid he wanted me to be a monk and had resisted because I thought he was controlling my path. But then he said, "You just needed to find the right woman." It was a beautiful affirmation that the path I was on was the right one, and it gave me immense freedom and blessing. Were there times when Gurudev scolded you? Yes, indeed. Gurudev rarely uses harsh words. The roughest thing he says is stupid, which he is claimed to have said only about 10 or 12 times. Out of those, I probably got 8 in a row. Once, it was during the development of a website for the Epic course. When I proudly presented it to him, he noticed we used stock photos and criticized it harshly, calling me stupid multiple times. It was devastating. How did you cope with that criticism? It was incredibly tough. I didn't join the group meditation afterward. Instead, I wandered around a nearby golf course, wishing for something to distract me from the agony. Later, when I went to his room, he didn't say a word about it. I realized much later that it wasn't about the website, it was a lesson in humility and spiritual growth. Gurudev's teachings often have layers of meaning, and it took time to understand that he was guiding me away from arrogance and towards deeper self awareness. That's profound. It seems like these experiences have deeply shaped your path as a teacher. How did you view your journey now? These moments, though challenging, have been pivotal in my growth. They taught me humility and the importance of inner work. Gurudev's cryptic but insightful guidance helped me shed layers of ego and self importance. Now, as I teach and guide others, I carry these lessons with me, understanding that true growth often comes from our most difficult experiences. Jai Gurudev.